Okay, for exercise 3B, you need to pay attention for our grid spacing. We're going to be changing our grids to 0.4, and we'll also be changing our snaps to 0.2. We'll also be drawing these objects here, and we'll be putting in some text. So let's go ahead and get our settings changed, and then we'll go ahead and get this started right here. So this is your previous drawing you did for 3A. You just go ahead and erase it. Turn on those grids, and let's make sure we get our grid settings back now. So we got to go back to 0.2, it says, the book says 0.2, and then we got to put our grids to 0.4. So grids are at 0.4, snaps are at 0.2. Make sure that nothing here is for grid behavior. Click OK. You can always double check your line weight, make sure it's on inches, and then the button here is on the second one. Alright, so now to draw our first object, go ahead and click on circle. Go ahead and just find a dot. So go ahead and find a grid. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit and find a dot, and I'm going to go to the next dot. Repeat circle, go to the same dot, and go to the next dot. And notice how I'm just bringing it straight up, and I'm landing on the dot. Repeat circle, I'm starting in the same center spot, and I'm bringing it up, straight up, and I'm bringing it to the next dot above it. And let's go ahead and get one more circle. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to bring it up to the dot right above it. Okay, so I'm going to go Z enter, A enter. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to move it over just a little bit. So now we can move it just a little bit over here. Okay, now for the next one, I'm going to go ahead and draw another circle. I'm just going to kind of line it up so it kind of keeps it nice and neat. So I'm going to go ahead and click on a dot as I line it up, and I'm going to bring this cursor up, and I'm going to land on a dot right up there. So you notice how I stopped my circle on a dot up there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on line now. I'm going to start at the very top on the dot. I'm going to come across. I'm going to come to that point, come down, come across, and I'm going to come up right here, and I'm going to go to where I started. I don't want to double my line up, so I'm going to come to this point where I started. And that's what I want. Okay, looks good. For the next object, you're going to go hidden. Use the rectangle button. And just go ahead and click a dot and just move your mouse about so it looks something like this. So notice how I stayed on the dots. That's fine. Doesn't have to be exact same number I have, but just stay on the dots. Repeat my rectangle. I'm going to go to the rectangle right above it, or the dots right above it, and I'm staying on the lines. See that? See how they stay on the dots? Repeat my rectangle. I'm going to go up to this corner again here, and I'm going to draw this out so it looks just like that. Notice how all these lines are staying on the dots. Next, I'm going to be dragging or drawing a line from here. Well, I need to take off that ortho so I can draw a diagonal line. So I'm going to take off that ortho. I'm going to come over here in that line. I'm going to make another line from here to there. I'm going to go Z enter, A enter. So it looks like I need to put some text in right now. So I'm going to go back to object. I'm going to click on that A button, go above it, and we have to type in layer, get that capital L, layer object. Click OK. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to bring it right over here, and I'm also going to bring it down here. Even though that's not object, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, double click it. I'm going to turn that to hidden. Click OK. And then I also need to turn this into hidden. So I'm just going to click on it once and see how it's got the blue grips lights up. I'm going to come up to my layer toolbar and turn it to hidden. Z enter, A enter. Go ahead and turn off your grids, and then you're done with 3B. Remember to save this as 3B, because if you go File Save, you would save over your original 3A. So make sure when you save it, you go in and you go File, Save As. That's the correct way you want to save it. That way you can save it without saving over your previous drawing. So make sure you go File, Save As, your last name dash ex3b.